Okay, so this Panzer IV video is kind of a intermediate step where we just cover some like hardening and trimming of the hull, the top of the hull, and the turret. So let's start by actually hardening it first before we do the trimming. That way we can kind of get it set in place and let it dry a bit. And it's a bit more durable. So you want to really make sure that these are going to be sitting in the right place. So make sure that they're on the 90-degree angle to the sides here. And they don't necessarily have to be touching. You can either use patches along the bottom here if it's a wide gap, or just fill it with glue if it's not bad. And you just want to take some 2-to-1 glue rather. 2 glue, 1 water. So it's like really actually that makes it very watery. And start by putting it on the top here. And just a thin coat over the top of the body. And you can kind of use a little bit extra and then just spread it around. But you want to make sure everything's in the right spot before you do this. Because this is going to like really... It's surprising how much this kind of locks everything into position and place. So you'll have trouble moving stuff around once this is complete. So be aware of that. Now, this is like pretty simple stuff here, self-explanatory. So I'm going to get on to the rest of it. Just wanted to say, like, be sure to cover the track covers and like even the edges here. Don't necessarily have to go under, because we're going to be adding a whole lot of parts in here. It's actually a little bit easier to work with that when it's soft. And over here. And especially if you've got like separation with your track, definitely want to put a little bit of glue in there. And if it's a lot of separation, you can kind of squeeze it together again and get rid of that somewhat. So cover all the back, the front parts. Like, don't cover down here or really low down here, because you're gonna stick it to the table. So that's about as far as I need to go with that. And then once you've got that done, just set this in here sort of temporarily. Now this is a bamboo skewer and one end is sharpened, so it's a little bit easier to set like that. And we want to kind of set the turret on there, because otherwise it's really hard to harden the whole thing at once. I'm going to do the same thing for the turret, and it's really important to do this before you start trimming the turret, because I mean it's held together by patches. And once you've done this, it's actually not the patches doing the heavy lifting anymore. It's the glue, and then you can kind of trim away or sand away much of the patch material if you need to, if it's in your way, and it's not going to come apart on you. So get that done. And I've got one here that's completely dry already. Just want to show and or remind you a few things. So remember, I talked about how you want to come straight in, like regardless of how much of a overlap you have down here. I want to cut that off level. So it's like a little bit different on each side. So trim that down, and then just kind of look and see if there's any spots that you kind of don't think match very nicely. You can either trim them a bit or re-glue them into place. You'll find little bits of patch and stuff that you want to trim off. So just look around, and you can use sandpaper to get some of these, if you have them, rougher areas. This is not bad, so happy with that. Now with the turret, often there'll be a little bit of extra overlap down here, or over here rather. It's not down. And on the back here, this might overshoot. Just trim that away. Same on the other side. And now we're cutting away a patch, but it's not going to actually pop apart anymore. So just trim that down. Sometimes these are coming together a little wonky. Just trim up one side and down the other, and it should sort of even out the connection. And you can also use like fine sandpaper to finish things. And again, even though this may remove some of the patches, you've locked in your shape just by gluing the hardener into place. Now, it's going to take a lot more work to sand it down now that it's hardened, so you'll have to work harder to do it, but it won't come apart on you. And you definitely want to like sand the bottom of it a little bit so that it fits smoothly onto here. And at the end, if you like, you can glue this into place with some 4-to-1. I think this is 4-to-1, yeah. Just take a little bit of glue, pop it onto the end here. Now, I'd always have the sharp side facing down. You can sharpen both sides if you want, but I would always have the sharp side facing down because occasionally you'll want to remove the turret, especially if you're playing war games and say the turret's blown off or whatever. It could be the indication of battle damage. But and also this allows you to turn the turret, and it's a little bit more solid to have it attached to the turret than it is to the hull. So that gets us to the next stage. And if you like this video, subscribe to the website, like and share my videos on YouTube, and hit the support button on the website if you can. If not, just spread the word. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.